How would you describe your sound musically?
I would describe my sound musically as a mixture of R&B, pop, and alternative. If we're putting genres on it, of course. I'd like to say that it's genreless in my mind. I really just make whatever I want to make and put out whatever I want to put out, and that's kind of what I've been on the last few years. But if we had to classify it, yeah, I'd put it in those genres.
Who are some of your musical influences then?
I grew up on a lot of my dad's influences. We would play music growing together, when I was growing up, we'd play a lot of instruments together and um, listening to a lot of like classic rock with him. So we were listening to like the Scorpions and the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, and that was all his favorite. And that led to me really loving like pop punk music and rock music like in the early 2000s. So like Fall Out Boy, All Time Low, Yellow Card were some of my favorite bands when I was in high school. Um, but my first concert going back a little before that was Paul McCartney in LA, and then my second concert was John Mayer. And so two of those together, right back to back when I was young, was very like it definitely like formed this, oh, I want to be a solo artist. I want to do that in my mind, right? And so I like to think that my sound is kind of like a culmination of all those different things together, though you probably hear a little more John Mayer and a little more maybe Beatlesy type, genreless type vibe in my music now, and less kind of rock. But all that to say, if you combined all that together, that's kind of the space that I'm in, and I love all those artists.
Talk about then the story behind your latest single coming up here, Frequent Flyer.
Yeah, Frequent Flyer is a super fun one. We went out to Joshua Tree last fall and wrote a lot of this album out there, and we wanted to make a song that felt light and felt like it was made for those times when you feel like you're just flying, like when you're like weightless and you're feeling so good, or you want to feel good maybe. And um, we wrote the song about kind of just living in the present moment and appreciating the present moment and living, a carefree and adventurous lifestyle. And really, when we made it, it was so easy to make. It really just flew out of us. It was a breeze. And every time I've listened since then, it kind of feels like when we like, I feel like I'm floating. I feel like I have no weight to me, or the weight is lifted off my shoulders, maybe. And so that's what Frequent Flyer is about.
Well, is there going to be a video that's going to be accompanying this, or do you have just like a lyric or a visualizer in mind for the time being?
Yeah, we actually filmed the video, and the video is coming out this week with the song as well. Super exciting. One of my favorite videos I've ever made. We got really into the videos and the treatments and the artistry on the visual side of my music for this album. I've been so focused on the music the last few years that I really wanted to dig into the videos this time around. And so this video is my favorite. We filmed this video in a Boeing jet, and so you'll see it when it comes out. But I am inside a plane, and chaos ensues from there. It's an amazing video, so I'm really excited for everybody to see that.
Now, is this a trend you'll be doing singles for now and maybe heading into an EP or album, or are you just focused on singles for the time being?
We have the album coming out. The album is done. The album is going to come out on June 8th. It's called California Rain. My debut album, so I'm really excited for everybody to hear that. This is Frequent Flyer is the last single before the album. Put out a few singles earlier in the year leading up to it as well. So new songs coming out on the album, and then a few singles being included. And I'm just so excited for everybody to hear it. I feel like the last few years of me putting out EPs and a lot of singles has been leading to this moment of, finally feeling like I'm ready and I have the right group of songs that feel like a final product of an album. I always just kind of wait for the music to dictate what I should do, and now feels like the right time to put out an album, and I just can't wait.
What are some themes you'll be exploring on this new album then?
We're exploring lots of different things. I think there's a song for everybody on this album, really. There's songs about heartbreak, there's songs about falling in love, and kind of everything in between. Songs about just feeling like you're flying, like Frequent Flyer. Um, Kind of just would encourage everybody to listen to the whole thing. It's not too long, and I think that everyone will find a song on there for themselves that they can really gravitate towards, or maybe there's a song for different moments and different emotions and different times for everybody. But I just love making music that people can relate to, and being on tour earlier this year or two really opened my eyes to which songs people gravitate towards and why they work. In a live show, even if someone has never heard from me before, why does somebody gravitate towards a certain song or a certain feeling? And that inspired me to finish the album.
When it comes to the production side of your music, Devin, how much of a say then do you have when it comes to crafting that side?
It all ends with me. I have a few people that I work with, and I love working with the last few years. But I tend to, or I end up producing everything from my project, whether I'm co-producing. It just depends on the song. Um, but I really enjoy that part of finding. I mean, it's really important to find your sound, and producing has allowed me to do that in every way. And really over the last few years, it's come down to it used to be a lot of, well, I want my music to sound like this artist, or I want my music to sound like that artist. And now I'm just in the mindset of, well, what does my music sound like? And I don't know if I think that takes some time to realize. Like a lot of artists are still trying to find that or get into that mindset, I think. And that was eye-opening for me because it really allowed me to just open up the genres a little bit and just kind of find what I wanted to sound like. And it really depends on the song, but for me, most of the time, what it comes down to is I just really love chords, is what I've found, and so I'll just I'll just rewrite the chords on a song like 50 times until it feels right to me, until I can get what I hear in my head into the song. I will just go and go and go, and so producing it myself is really the only way that can happen because I would drive anybody else crazy. So
What do you hope then lingers with people who explore the music that you make?
I hope they can feel something and they can find their own stories in the music and in the lyrics. I'm writing to me very meaningful things from the heart. I'm not
Sure.
phoning in any lyrics. I'm not just writing a song to write a song. I'm only writing a song if there's a story in it. And so I would encourage everybody to find that story or find their own story within it.
With that in mind, then, what would you like to say to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful music that you make?
Well, thank you so much for the love and the support. And I'm so excited for you all to hear California Rain coming out June 8th. I'm so excited. And I will see you on tour this year at some point and sending everybody love. Thank you for listening.